It's not. Okay. A little bit. It looks cool. It looks cool. That's why I wear it. Fuck with the cowboy, you're gonna get the arm sleeve. Because I don't have any horns. Fresh out of horns. Fresh out of fucks and horns. Well, I got one fuck to give, but it's not for you. It's for a special soul who I hope hears the next part of the story. Not this first part, but you'll know when you hear it. You'll know it when you hear it. You motherfuckers. Yeah, I'd love to make these videos like kid friendly and all, but seems I need to talk to y'all first. Fucking bummer, right? Hey, don't like when my face turned red, turned pink. I mean, it is pink, but alright, back to work. So be impeccable with your word, Jesus. Can't get past this part. In the first book of Don Miguel Ruiz's that I read, I mean, it might have been his first book, too. I was 13. I read this book with my broken and brilliant dad, Mike. He lived in Sacramento. Well, we lived in Sacramento at this point of the story. As I mentioned at 13 years old, the 4 agreements is what he called it. This book. Be impeccable with your word. With your words. They are powerful. They are miraculous. They are magical, and they can be tremendously damaging, as you probably know. I'm gonna not assume that everything I'm saying is just understood, because if it was, we wouldn't be in the position we are in right now, or well, we wouldn't have been in that position a few years ago. Never mind. All right. Okay. Yeah. So words, yeah, they can be tremendously damaging and hurtful. They can be inappropriately used so easily. And for some of the beings here, that is the only way they are used. Even when these ones say things that are kind sounding, loving in appearance, nice, charming, funny as hell. Haha. Perfect. Oh, I get it. Funny as hell. Funny as hell. Say it like that. God just uttered. God just uttered, posited an intentional Freudian slip. Wow. That's more than amazing to me. Me. Calinius, this is what I wrote. Calinius Maximus. I was Calinius at like, I don't know what age, 9, 10. It's just a name that came to me because I loved Greek mythology. I loved mythology, period. I didn't even know half of the ones that existed out there. I was into Norse and Greek. That's all I knew that there was. But I didn't know there was Egyptian and Irish and all kinds of cool shit. I mean, all these different pantheons of gods. And to find out that they weren't myths, that it was part of the cover-up that keeps humanity enslaved. That was fun to find out. That was exciting. Get back here. Okay. So, alright, I was rattling off some of my names that I'd given myself and had before. Adam 2.0, Lilith revived, Sarah Tamar revealed. I am the Lilith to the Bible's Adam, who was replaced by wounded masculine deities with Eve, the subservient woman, designed to corrupt and mislead every divine feminine man or woman's idea and vision of what is the very magic, the beauty, the majesty itself, that is an extremely important half of everyone, but a little more so for those who know themselves as divine feminine beings, like myself, Adamant. Be they dark divine, like me, or lighter shades of awesomeness, the way you would probably imagine my once grandmother Mary, the mother of my once grandmother Mary, the mother of my father Yeshua, or my mother Mary. Yeshua's perfect counterpart and soulmate, Mary Magdalene. Mother Teresa is another type of all peaceful divine feminine. There was another one I was going to mention, but I already forgot. There's so many. So in some of our lives and incarnations, we make total peace with our darkness, befriending that which has fangs and razor-sharp claws. Really, that's where I stopped at. Of course. This was a couple days ago too. This is very personal journaling, but it must be shared because there's lessons to be learned. There's wisdom in it, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to lead y'all out of the fucking darkness, y'all. I'm here to teach. I'm here not to save you, because no one can save anyone but themselves. But I'm here to show you how I saved myself and how you can do the same from your own nightmares and hellscapes. I have everything you need to know. That's why I went through what I went through. But let's listen to this. It's good. So I took a small stand this morning. This was a journal about the miracles that had happened today, like a gratitude little journal, because so many miracles had happened that day, and I was like, I gotta write some of this shit down. The funny thing is, I never really got to all the miracles. It's like it ended up becoming something else. It ended up being just going in a different direction, and that's okay. That's usually what happens with me. Not really tangents, just loop deep. That's not important. Okay, so I took a small stand this morning against a maladaptive behavior and coping mechanism that had officially brought me shame in a way I had not felt shame for a while. I've been calling myself the shameless one, since rehab in Dallas about 2.5 years ago. It's an incredible experience, and that's gonna have to be another story for another time. But I swear, like, when I came out of the 30 days of rehab, and I ended up at my back in San Antonio. A, f- a switch had flipped for me when I said the step 3 prayer. When I said, Father God, Mother God, I give my will to Thee to build with me, to build with me as Thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do Your will. My brain is farting on me right now. In the prayer, it says, "Grant me victory over my difficulties, that may bear witness to the others." But I changed it. I said, grant me the strength, the wisdom, the virtues needed. Grant me courage and stuff like that, that I may face, that I may use those things to face my challenge. Don't just take away my difficulties. Give me the tools that I may conquer them myself, that I may face them as one would face, you know, an overlord of a demon, you know, as an archangel or something like that. Because it's our difficulties that allow us to grow, that give us the most growth. If our parents did everything for us the way they want to sometimes, the way they sometimes mistakenly do, then we don't get the benefit that we would have gotten had they just turned off helicopter mode and let us fall on our faces more. And that's the thing about me. I said I'm the master of fools, the king of fools. It's because I made the most mistakes. I've fucked up the most, and by those mistakes have I become the wisest, one of the wisest, I'll say. And these mistakes, these sins, they're not evil, they're good. They are good. They don't have to be perfect. I mean, that's how we learn. That's how we grow. And growth is good. Growth is God. Okay, anyways, back to my really personal journal. So I hadn't felt shame in a while. I knew too much not to feel great shame in this situation over choosing this sin of mine consciously, keen about what it was costing me, which is everything, as far as I was concerned. And I did it, like, I chose this sin, this pornographic masturbation and edging while on amphetamines, the medicine, not the criminal drug. They're the same thing, by the way, so whatever, that's fucking retarded. So yeah, I was doing this it was just like one of my maladaptive coping mechanisms. I was doing this right in front of God, right in front of my father and mother in the unseen realms. Even so, I knew they were right there. Not just the visual of that, but being able to see my every thought, see me consciously choose a dead thing over life. I didn't edge for more than an hour, which is short. Which is short relatively. Orgasm was orgasm, but inside I felt like I had actually betrayed them and their trust. Not that I hadn't done that before, but it was the timing. It was the timing, the place, and it was like I knew it was something to like let go of, and because of the timing, it was like It was very important that I do so. But I didn't. I did it anyways. And in front of them, of my spiritual family, no less. Yes, Jesus and Mary. I'll detail that a little more in a minute. So I felt like I'd actually betrayed them in their trust, because I take great pride in my loyalty to the ones that I love dearly. That pride in myself for being better than all of those in my Earth family whose betrayal of me was so deep and dark, it was unfathomable to me. At first and second. Exactly like the Cinderella archetype, whom they were so secretly jealous of, that a blood sacrifice to attempt, not even guaranteed. Not even guaranteed to work. That was good for them. They agreed on it. While my brother merely played a witness to it all, they put him in a position. He's 4 years younger than me. He put him in a position so that he learned what they were doing, and he witnessed basically an attempted murder. But he could have to enough of it that he could have let himself be outraged. He could have shown his disgust at what he learned they were up to, and for as long as they were. This was my little brother that I treasured and adored. Even in my nightmare of unconscious self-sabotage for all those years, he could have at least fought for me a little bit, to some degree. Could have asserted that I had a value that was more deserving of what they were trying to do, trying to get away with. Which was like destiny swap. They're trying to like literally steal my destiny and my gifts and stuff like that. Shit that's been passed down through my bloodline, through my ancestors and stuff like that. I mean, my spiritual parents are Jesus and Mary. So I if you didn't know, Jesus married Mary. She wasn't like the local prostitute. She was his most promising student, follower, whatever. And they had a daughter named Sarah. This is the golden child that I refer to, or has been referred to, in this context. For a long time, I thought that Sarah was my mother, and that I was the grandson of Yeshua and Mary. Until I didn't, till I knew better. And I knew that I was Sarah herself. Because God told me at his table, I sit literally on the right side of him. And I was like honored, super honored, and I knew he was telling me that I was super loved and adored. I just didn't. I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to overstep and arrogantly say I was someone that I wasn't. I was too was being too humble is what it was. What it ended up being. But that's just me. I have a big ass dose of humility that is just the way I was raised was that humility was a virtue. It was goodness to it. And there is. It's not that there's not. I still it adds to my beauty as a spirit, as a person, a soul. That I am so humble at the same time, so fucking brilliant and awesome in all these ways. But humility has a dark side too. It really does. But anyway, my brother didn't stand up for me when he found out that they were trying to blood sacrifice me for material gain, for money, riches, and bullshit. For dust. He did that for the validation and favor that he was gaining of my mother and sister and grandmother. And it broke my heart when I was told by the Creator, the only one that any soul can fully trust. He showed me some of that stuff behind the veil that had been done behind my back and was still being done in order to get the better of me, to get the better of Cinderella and the Little Mermaid. The way the witch steals her voice and goes onto the land and fucking she's like, starts singing and shit like that with the princess's magical voice. That is almost spot on, what a destiny swap would look like if it's possible to even do. I mean, I don't know I don't know if that is possible. I don't think so. I think we all have lots of pretenders, people who imitate and copy us and are stealing from us in massive ways. In a way, they didn't destiny swap, but they definitely used me to make a shitload of money in a whole bunch of ways. One of those was by just knowing my character, because they were obsessed with my spirit for many, many lifetimes, and they used that blueprint as the blueprint for characters in different movies that were very successful. Meanwhile, I'm loving these movies and not recognizing that some of these characters are based on my very own soul. John Connor, for one. Not John Galt, although I love Ayn Rand. Sometimes the downloads, the intel people get, the inspiration that comes through for people to put into their creations is completely synchronized with the future and destiny and shit like that. And I'll give you specific examples about that later on, but Neo was one of those. Especially part 4. Part 4 was amazing. But Neo wasn't dark yet until he whipped out the guns, I guess. But he was a divine feminine being, and Trinity was his the masculine counterpart. So what makes up someone a divine feminine being, just is their association with the right side of their brain, having a stronger connection to it, and those powers, the intuition, the creativity. That's how I was able to survive everything that I survived. Like, I didn't even know that I had all these gifts and abilities and senses that I was somehow tapping into unconsciously. But the best is yet to come, because like I'm at the beginning of even more and more growth. I expect to be flying, like literally flying around here with some wings before a matter of time. Just because when I was a kid, I always wanted to fly. I wanted to fly jets. That was that was the only dream I remember having. And I was around. Oh man, I was around. I think I wrote the story in one of my online journals. Much better, but I'm gonna tell it here. I was around like 7 or 8. I don't know when it was, when I realized in order to fly jets, I'd have to do it for the military, and I was gonna have to go kill innocent people. And as soon as I realized that, I let it go. I was like, you know what? Pass. I don't want to fly jets. I'll fly something else. I'll find something else to fly. But I'm definitely not gonna go into the military and fucking kill innocent people just because my government tells me to. I mean, they could be wrong, and that would be on me. That's on my conscience. So fuck that. And it turned out, I was exactly right in my reasoning as an 8-year-old. Man, I have so many fucking stories to share. And I wrote some of these down like really well, and I do them more justice when I do it that way, rather than when I'm like half asleep, just recalling bits and pieces of this and that. But there's so much goodness to come. I think it's at 27:48. So I was doing 30-minute mark videos. That way, you won't be overwhelmed by a 2-hour video of me fucking talking in black and white. But there's one more that, where the fuck is it? Where did I put? I bet it's in my phone. See, I'm recording my phone, and then the journal is on my phone. It's on my laptop too, but the reception out here is not great for my service, so it wasn't letting me. Fuck it, let's give it a try. Let's see if I'll connect. Oh, now I remember. So my Penzu journal is like an app and a website, but the app, my app doesn't have the same files that the website does, which is total bullshit. And I couldn't even pull that shit up for you if I wanted to on my computer. I would need to put that video on that and then read it from my phone, which I shall do now. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. I'm just kidding. So cheesy. Those people just like namaste everything.